Hey Canucks fans, I think it's time that the team looks for some defensemen. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clay Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. And this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Saturday, October the 10th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. A couple of programming notes: because of the long weekend and because of some things I have going on tomorrow, I'm going to bump my Ask Me Anything and my live stream to Thanksgiving Monday. So instead of everything happening tomorrow, per usual on Sunday, again, my Ask Me Anything will be on Monday, so I'll ask for questions tomorrow in anticipation of that. And my live stream will be on Monday night as opposed to Sunday night. Now, I want to kind of reset everything because I've done about 5 or 6 vlogs over the past 24 hours. And I kept talking about how the Canucks, there wasn't a lot of news heading up to October 9th, the opening of free agent frenzy. And then boom, a lot of things happened yesterday. So I want to kind of reset, take stock of where we're at and take stock of where the Canucks may need to go. So we know that in order we heard of, basically it was, the very first thing we heard was Braden Holtby. Actually, it was Tyler Motte. The first thing we heard was Tyler Motte signing in Vancouver for 2 years. Then we heard Braden Holtby signing in Vancouver for 2 years because right after that, news came out that Jacob Markstrom was headed to Calgary for 6 years. Then last night we heard that Tanev was going to Calgary for 4 years, and this morning Troy Stecher going to Detroit for 2 years. And I vlogged about all those. You can look up all those contract amounts and everything. But really quickly, it was Tyler Motte here, 2 years at 2.4. Then it was Braden Holtby, 2 years here at 8.6. Then it was Jacob Markstrom, 6 years at 36. Tanev, 4 years at over 16. I guess it was 17 million because it's 4 years at 4.5. 18 actually, 4 years at 18. And then Troy Stecher, 2 years at 3.4 in Detroit. And for each of those individual transactions, I actually did a vlog about it. I talked about the contract ramifications, whether the Canucks should have tried to keep them more or paid them more or whatever it may be. So what's really interesting right now, when you look at that, you'd think that the Canucks are a lot weaker team than last year when you simply look at the team on paper. And I agree with that because you basically lost an all-star goalie, you lost a top 4 defenseman, and you've lost a bottom 6 defenseman as well. And those are the 3 that we know of that have signed elsewhere: Markstrom, Tanev, and Stecher. With Toffoli, if the Canucks don't circle back to him, then you're losing a top 6 winger. And then those were basically the big, the 3 big UFAs were, as we know, Markstrom, Tanev, and Toffoli. So all 3 could be gone. We know Stecher's gone now, and we know that Jacob Tanev, they actually qualified. So he may be the guy who tries to fill in a top 6 role with the Vancouver Canucks next season. But overall, you can see the quality of players that have exited the team. You bring back Tyler Motte, which is good. It's a re-signing, so it's not like it's a new player, and we hope to see more from him, and he wants to give more offensively, so that's good. And then Braden Holtby, I actually like the signing a lot. I talked about this yesterday. At 2 years, at 4.3 a year, it's not a lot of money. With Demko's 1.05, you're actually getting good goaltending, a good tandem for under $5.5 million next season, which is really good. Then Holtby can be exposed for the expansion draft, Seattle expansion draft at the end of next season. But because of the way that the cash is structured, because he's getting more in the second year of his contract, it might actually make it, it might persuade Seattle not to go after Holtby, and then you still have Holtby for 1 more year after that. But we'll worry about that next year, as I talked about yesterday. But I think Holtby brings some good starter quality goaltending to the Vancouver Canucks. And whether it's a 50-50 split, a 60-40 for Demko, who knows? But it sounds like Holtby is ready to mentor Demko. We heard the story about how he asked for Demko's number as soon as he got traded here, which is kind of cool, as soon as he signed here. So, and he was saying all the right things in his interview, his media availability yesterday. That was Braden Holtby. So I'm really excited about that signing, actually. I think it's good. You can't just lose a guy like Markstrom and then replace him with a nobody, and Holtby is certainly far from a nobody. But when you look at the roster now, you've lost 2 of your 3 starting defensemen on the right side. Left side will probably be fine with Hughes, with Edler, and then with one of Juolevi or Rathbone on the third pairing, or maybe Jordy Ben if he plays on the left as well. So I'm not worried about the left. But on the right, you have Tyler Myers, and then that's it. Jim Benning has talked about Jalen Chatfield. Jim Benning has talked about Brogan Rafferty, and then you could put Jordy Ben back on the right side. But that's really, really weak on the right side. And even when I put a tweet out this morning talking about Troy Stecher this is before the Troy Stecher news. What would you think of this blue line with Troy Stecher in there? And many people were saying, no, that's really weak. We're gonna get smoked. Others were saying, we don't give the young guys a chance, like Rafferty, like Ulevi, like Chatfield, like Rathbone, because we don't know what we have yet. So, I think we're gonna be having that debate all season. But really what it comes down to is, do you like where the Canucks are at right now? Do you like the spot they're at? And do you like where Jim Benning has positioned the team? So I put a poll out on Twitter this morning before the Troy Stecher news, mind you, and I said this. I said, now that you've had a night to sleep on it, how do you feel the Canucks did yesterday with the Holtby and Motte signings and saying goodbye to Markstrom and Tanev? Again, this was before the Stecher news. And then I gave 4 choices. I gave, you feel excited for the next few days. You feel good because we need patience. You feel upset at the spot we're in, or you feel that we weren't active enough yesterday. So I have almost 300 votes already, and leading is 42% with saying good, you feel good because you need patience right now. And then 28% of you are upset at the spot we're in, 18% of you are excited for the next few days, not sure if you're still excited, and 12% saying that the Canucks weren't active enough yesterday. So there's a lot of moving parts, obviously, to all this. We talk about how negotiations are difficult, how maybe that the Ekman Larson and Markstrom negotiations really stalled everything. Then you can say, well, at least they should have kept the communication channels open with guys like Stecher and Tanev and Toffoli. So there's a lot going on, obviously, there's a lot to cover. But I think the bottom line is this. A lot of people are saying that Jim Benning put too much money into guys, and that put us in the spot we're in. Eriksson, Sutter, Roussel, Beagle, Myers, Ferland, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I have time for that argument because obviously many of the decisions that we had to make, that Benning had to make, were because of cap problems. I get that. I've never ever said that the Canucks don't have a cap problem, because we can see they have a cap problem. But you can think that. You can blame Benning for the situation we're in, but you can also praise Benning for the patience he showed in not doing the Oliver Ekman-Larsson deal and tying up $8 million a year for the next 8 seasons, in not signing Jacob Markstrom to 6 years, which might be a little too long, admittedly, or Chris Tanev for 4 years, which might be a little bit too long. I'm not saying anything. I like Markstrom. I like Tanev. I like the way they work for the team, but I do applaud Benning for the restraint he showed that way. And with this market, with this strange COVID-19 market, I think there's still a lot of good players out there. Yeah, they're slowly getting snapped up, but there still are some really good players out there that you can get if you just show a little bit of patience and not overspend on the first day of free agency, which Jim Benning has done. So again, I'm saying here, I hear those arguments, and I'm not saying that they're mutually exclusive. You can actually have time for both of those arguments. That yes, we're in a tough situation because of the decisions Jim Benning has put us in, but yes, he actually did a good job yesterday, all things considered, given that he didn't repeat his past mistakes of overspending on the first day of free agency. But that's where we're at. We don't have any defensemen on the right side aside from Tyler Myers. There is a thought that some young guys are going to push for spots in the lineup, but there is still a little bit of money right now for the Canucks to get a good second pairing defenseman on the right side, or they could be even more money if they end up trading some of their assets, especially up front, to shore up their back end. So everything Rick Dollywall and others I've heard saying the Canucks are really going to focus on their blue line now that they've lost Tanev and Stecher. They're not going to make Toffoli priority on the front end. They think they have enough pieces. They might not be the most amazing pieces, but remember, there's Josh Levo, there's Michael Ferland maybe, there's Hoglander and Paul Cozen coming in a year or two. So I think up front we're not as shallow, not as weak as we are on the blue line. And then we don't have to worry about the goaltending with Demko and then Holtby for the next couple of years. So it's really the blue line that the Canucks need to focus on over the next little while. So we'll see what happens. So overall, I guess the question today right now, as we reset where we're at right now, is how do you feel about what's happening with the Canucks right now at this moment? Are you scared? Are you nervous? Do you kind of see what they're doing? Are you willing to give Jim Benning the benefit of the doubt? I've always said that before I make these bold predictions or sweeping conclusions, I'm going to wait a couple more days to see what else shakes out, to see how they might fill that spot on the right side, and then maybe I'll do an overall post-mortem of the free agent period. It's only been a day. It's only been 24 hours, basically, 24, 28 hours. So there's a lot to be done. We'll see what happens, but I want to kind of take stock of where we're at right now and check in with you and see how you are feeling. So again, don't forget, my Ask Me Anything and my live stream will be on Monday this week, Thanksgiving Monday, as opposed to Sunday. Tomorrow is the 16th anniversary of my father's death. My father Larry, the one who introduced me to the Vancouver Canucks. I'll probably talk about him more tomorrow. But yeah, and then I have some family things going on, so I want to bump everything to Monday while still keeping tabs of what's going on with the Vancouver Canucks. So Canucks fans, let me know. Leave a comment below. I'll redirect and reply. Question of the day is, how are you feeling right now? Subscribe if you like this video, if you like to enjoy the day. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.